I had to come outside to talk about it. Um, and it's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it. Wow. So I began with saying that I realize that the way I am is because of the need to make wiser choices. I do fully confess that, and so nothing is to be blamed on anyone. Nothing is to be blamed on any other person. I realize that the way I am the way I am because of the pain I still feel from having been in love with Mary and been so hurt by what happened. She left me pregnant, 7 months pregnant, and basically gave my child to another man. And I just really haven't gotten over that, and that was years ago. I've seen my child, once. The situation is very complicated, and it's not anyone's business per se, but it happened in front of everyone, so I do have things to say in this context on my platform, my little 2 likes on my whole platform pretty much type of deal, with a bunch of people watching, so I keep speaking. So let's get directly to the point. Like, the last couple of days, I thought I'd found heaven. And I'm not crying about it. I kind of enjoy this part of quote-unquote relationship where you have the space and the distance and the fluidity and the flexibility to just be like, you know what, that doesn't hurt because you didn't do it to hurt me, and I'm not going to be a jerk and be mad at you for living. So directly to the point, little girl I was like and wanting to marry on, and I had seriously decided to just back up off of everything I was doing. Like, I go up and down these roads, used to on my motorcycle. My motorcycle's been broken down for a couple weeks now, so I still get around on my little bicycle, but it's limited. I have to put more effort into it. I still have friends way down the road that I can reach, but I was just really, all this talk I do about God, that has to apply most specifically to my personal life. How do I treat people, and especially the people I'm most intimate with, women. And I'm not out here sleeping around. I just really am not. And I used to be a rock star. Oh my gosh. And it's still a heavy weight upon my shoulders because I have deliverance to pray for. That being said, okay, back to the point. Well, what happened with the girl? I mean, I was all ready to just act like a married man, mind my own business, because the woman I do still love very much is in another state even. She's a state above us. And I'm not going to give too much information about her personal self because that's her personal business, who the personal person she is. But she is a very personal person. And I still love her very much, so I'm a little bit sad because, and why? Because I look forward to her little yoga videos that she makes. They inspire me. You can tell the last couple of days I've been looking at my old videos. She reminds me a lot of videos that I do, and I found a couple videos that just really reminded me of what she's doing right now. And I'm still going out and doing my exercises. I did them today as well, but I'm not recording it yet because I have another thing in mind with that. But not to drift my mind off to the side about it, I saw a man walking around her kitchen. I'm like, I was like, okay, well, what do you expect? I mean, she's fine as all get out. She ain't married, she's single. And that could have been her plumber. That could have been Obama. That could have been your mama's daddy. That could have been anybody. But it doesn't necessarily. But I'm not the stupidest person on the planet, and she's a very young. I'm sure she's got a decent job. She's got a decent setup in her physicality, and She's a wonderful person. She's been so kind to me. she's been too kind to me these last few days, making me think I can just, okay, well, I'm just gonna love on you for a while. I was getting ready to write her all kind of love letters online, and nobody would know who she was but her. But she would know that they were for her, and she would know they weren't for nobody else. Now I'm just like, what the heck am I about to do with myself? I'm not gonna go run out and run around and just go get stupid, because I've been falling back for a few days. Because in all seriousness, in every bit of seriousness I can muster up, in all seriousness, I counseled with some spiritual people, Christians, that prayed for me, and she basically, it was a couple, it was a married couple that's been very much in the Bible for years and very devoted to Christ the way that the Bible describes him to be. So it wasn't just like some spiritual gurus that are going to tell me, do whatever you want to do, just make sure you can really feel it. No, she told me, she basically warned me, you don't need to be in a place like that. You think that you can go in there and save people, whereas you yourself are still dealing with the wounds from that kind of lifestyle. That is why you feel so much compassion to them, because it hurts. And so, I can't say that I'll never walk back in there. I could run there with this phone in my hand and be to the strip club at the end of the street in 45 seconds. And, I'd rather take a left turn and go to the beach and be there in 30 seconds. But with that being said, it's very important it's important to me to spell these things out and talk these things out in this context on this platform, because of where I have been. It's not like it looks like a whole bunch of people are looking at my information, but there are a few, and those that are, I'm very concerned about doing the right thing for. That being said, I'm not making up religion. Rastafari is not a made up thing. And very much when I left Asheville, when I stage dove off of a rock star stage, I did it because I had to. Rastafari is Christian, very Christian, very, very Christian, when it's the way of life described by someone who fears God and knows that he is himself as described in the Bible, not just a bunch of New Age beliefs jumbled all together. No, Haile Selassie, King Selassie I, Rastafari pointed us to Christ, the Christ of the Bible, the Christ of the ancient Bible. That being said, my point and my purpose, I was out there living a rock star's life. I was getting girls. I had no problem getting women. My problem was and I wasn't a player in that sense either. Every time I was hoping I found the one. Every time. Just like today, just like yesterday. Whenever I fall in love with a woman, I want her to be the one. I want her to be the only one, someone that I can trust, someone I can build all of this life around with. And what hurts me so bad about this world and about the way life is on this planet is that it's just really hard to trust people for that, because you'll think they're all in for that. And this is not, please, ma'am, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you right now, the woman that I'm liking on. I'm just talking about people in general. The reason that I even took that direction was because I have to fully explain this now, because this is all the way on my heart, and I am well held together by these trees behind me. And so with that being said, continuing. So what happened, I watched a video and I saw a man walking around, and I was like, okay, so, but I'd sent her my video today, and she put a love sign on it, like she still appreciates my attention. So what I must do is make sure that she knows that I'm not upset with her, because I didn't ask her for none of this. I mean, I didn't ask her for any of it, so what I'm doing, and she didn't ask me for any of it. It was just something that I saw that she was beginning to pay a little bit more attention to me, and I was then therefore beginning to pay more attention to her, and then my feelings opened, my heart chakra opened on up, and felt her, because she's very important. She's been in my life for a long time, but we don't talk on the phone every day. We don't have the kind of relation, and I haven't had that relationship with a woman in a long time, probably over a year now, because I have had My Wendy was a wonderful girlfriend. My Bella was a wonderful girlfriend, but they were both young ladies from Europe, Asian ladies from Europe, that I dealt with in a good way for a few months at a time. And that's usually how the relationships go that I experience. That's been the pattern. Most of the relationships I've had for 3 months, and there seems to be a science in that. I've read about it before, but I'm not trying to get all off to the side about it. I'm just saying that my point was just really wanting to do the man-woman thing the right way. God allows us to have people. He does allow us to have intimacy. He describes how it should be so that he can be involved in it, and it can be much more beautiful than anything we've ever experienced on this earth. I fully believe in that because I've experienced so much of the opposite. So much of the opposite. And with that being what it is, what did I do? I'm going to speak about it here, what I did, and what was my plan. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I was thinking, I know how I am. I know how sad I get about the world and things, and I know how frustrated I get with my attempts to shine and then being shot down by jealous people. It makes me have to sharpen what I do have and do have control over that much more, so it does build character. So I understand why God allows me to go through what I go through. Um, that being said, what I did was set up a situation where I know how deeply women inspire me. Like if I have one woman on my mind, and then that's all I need. And I don't need to be greedy about a whole bunch of women I like. And I'm caught up in a situation right now where I do just kind of fly around on my bike and sit down and become acquainted with people and end up having crushes on them. But I have crush on more than one girl at the same time, and realizing that they're going through the same thing, having crushes, either boyfriends or crushes on more than one boy at a time. And it all becomes complicated whenever one realizes how toxic these days are. Case in point. No, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into the negativity. People understand. People are going through it themselves, so I don't really have to spell mine out for them, not the negative stuff. You don't need to hear about so much of my negative. You go through it too, but I'm trying to point towards a positive way to deal with it, and this is my attempt was. And I'm not saying I'm done, because that could have been the plumber, but I don't want to think about that kind of plumber, though. See, that's what happened. Whenever I saw that there was a man even near her when she was doing her yoga, and that it could be somebody that, maybe she's holding hands with, my heart dropped and about to explode, and I was about to cry the ocean. I didn't, but I was like, whoa, that affects me too deeply, back up. And so I'm just like, okay, well, I did. I came outside and started to breathe. It's like none of her fault. She didn't ask for any of it. And I am secure in that I'm a good dude to be around. I got a strong enough body to move stuff around and help people. I've got a strong enough mind to see through some bull chit chat and just stay grounded on the earth with the trees and the birds and all that stuff in the ocean. That never changes. People do, but that doesn't change. And she didn't change. She's been kind to me. She's been warm. She's been accommodating. But if there is a guy there, then I'm going to have to respect myself and say, well, you don't just sit there and keep going because you don't want to look at that. You don't want to believe that that's what it is, and you see that that's the chance of what it is. So that's normally when communication is absolutely necessary. And this is not a normal world. I have not felt that kind of communication that I'm talking about, and I know it exists because that was my entire situation years ago. Like really being able to communicate with these women that I'm blessed to have met and dealt with. And times have changed to a point where I haven't felt that in years. Like I used to be always on the phone with a woman, and there was nothing wrong with that because I was not being nasty or dirty. I was being a friend, and it was love. And I miss that because this world has waxed cold with love, and whenever I find it, I cherish it. And so I still love my friend very much. I just realized she gave me a little message. She let that be in that video, so she didn't want to hurt my heart. She saw this that I've been doing, And she didn't just bounce up on my page and say, "What are you talking about, you dummy? I don't even like you." No, she liked my stuff. She loved my stuff. And she sent a little hint that, hey, I kind of might be seeing somebody. At least that's how I took it. She'll see this. And I kind of like the fact that the little hints, you kind of have to talk to people in codes these days. Most of us are aliens. With that being said, no love lost. And I'm at a loss for words. No love lost, just some words. But I'm going to have to find some and explain to my old little broken heart what the heck to do now. At least I'm still living and breathing, so gracias.